everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondy Blue and I am back for another power review. Let's just get right into it. So Ghost is out of jail, bitch. Yes. Breathe sighs of relief. Okay? We are happy. We thought we was happy, but we forget so many strings are tied. So many strings are tied, okay? He gets home, spends the night in his bed, takes a shower. Tasha's up in the kitchen and shit, cutting up bread. You know, like New Yorkers do, I guess. And he's trying to have this conversation with her that she's trying to run and clean from, in which he tells her that, you know, what happened with Angela was a total mistake and he wishes that she never came into truth and he wants to try with her again. And it's like, nigga, what? Nigga, who? Who? Me? Oh, really? Really? She's like, we can talk about this later, okay? We don't need to talk about this now. She doesn't seem that receptive. She doesn't seem like that's what she wants. Ghost goes back to truth. Okay, back to the majesty that is his creation of a nightclub. But he can't even have a full fucking 5 minutes to enjoy it because Simon Stern pulls up right behind all of the press and enters into the building. While outside, Kanan sits there and had attempted to kidnap Ghost, but didn't realize that so many people were going to be flooding to try to see him, including press and Simon Stern. Simon Stern is trying to get Ghost back into the fold. He's not trying, okay? He's basically there to pick up the money that he gave Tasha while he was in jail. And I'm like, what you mean, like that one day? Like, oh my God, everybody was acting like you've been out, you know, so long. It's been like 10 hours. Won't everybody calm down, okay? Because Tommy Daddy called talking about why you ain't gave the phone to Tommy yet. I told you I want to talk to him. Don't forget I know about you killing the officer. Man, shut the fuck up. We know. I ain't been home long enough. He ain't even here, okay? Like, just so much. He is not pleased with this whole thing with Simon Stern. You know Tasha's gonna get a tongue lashing when he gets home, okay? But for right now, the deal is he wants to get a tax cut by having a minority owner as the face of the business, okay? And then they'll do clubs here and there, whatever, I guess. But he gets a big tax break. So that's why Simon is in for, you know, letting the money that he loaned them go, okay? I'll let that go. I'll erase all your debt, okay? Just come work for me again like a slave. White master man, see me? Okay? It's very aggravating, okay? It's very aggravating. Can we get some new villains? Like, Jesus Christ. Jukebox is putting pressure on Kanan to kidnap Ghost. I'm like, bitch, you act like it's easy to just kidnap a grown-ass man out of nowhere when he just got out of jail. That's not easy. That might be easy for a poor man that's about to go lay up under the bridge, but that's not easy for Ghost, who has a family and a wife and a club and was on the papers. So people know who he is when he walks down the fucking street, and he's been exonerated, and the clubs and the hair salons are all opening back up. And shit is hot right now. Why do you think it's gonna be easy to kidnap him, bitch? You're a cop, you should know better. She's back at this like abandoned house with Tyreek. At first he's playing video games and he's like, where's Kanan? What's going on with Kanan? And she's like, man, little nigga, calm down. He getting old. That's what's taking him so long. You ain't going nowhere. I'll handle you, moms. She's texting Tasha back and forth because Tasha is like, where the fuck are you? And he's like, let me sleep at my friend's house. And she's like, no. And then he's like, but no, please. But it's not really him. Let me sleep at my friend's house. She's like, okay, I'll be there to pick you up at 9 a.m. Okay, the next morning when she go to pick his ass up, he's not going to be there because he's in some abandoned fucking house in Bushwick, some goddamn where of New York. Okay, where there are lots of trees and grass and shit. Keisha and Tasha meet up and she throws complete shade at her friend because she wants out. Okay, she wants out. What's going to happen with her now that Ghost is out of jail? She wants out. And I'm like, bitch, if you don't calm the fuck down, what is all this animosity for? You know what I'm saying? The nigga been out of jail 10 hours. See what I mean, y'all? 10 hours, acting like he's been out of jail for like 48. Calm down, everybody. Okay, we don't have all the answers right now. It's too hot. Okay, it's still hot. The block is still hot. Okay, like these niggas gotta take a breather after being reprimanded for what they did in court, and then they're gonna try to come back with some other shit. The shit is not over. Everybody just calm down for right now. You included, Keisha, bitch. So where did Tommy go? Because Tommy's been missing in action, okay? Tommy went to Chicago to meet with Jason, which is the guy that they get their drugs from, okay? He's the big guy or whatever, the one that works over Patar, that they've been having, you know, this pushback, you know, in Chicago with Chicago once and all of this shit back and forth this whole season, right? And he goes to meet with him, and you know, Tommy's always watching his back and, you know, very lucid and aware when he goes to meet with him. And he's just like, you know, there are other business ventures that I want you to head, but I need for you to stop having all kinds of contact with Ghost. And at first he thought he was going to try to get him to kill Ghost, but this guy seems to be smarter and more of a businessman and probably, you know, has a real legit shit going on, but it's basically a front to wash money. But because he's white, it like works on a larger scale. So that's what I'm like guessing. Like, look, bro, I'm not about to kill Ghost. I don't know why motherfuckers feel like they could tell me who I can be friends with and shit like that. But whatever. So he thinks that, you know, we've had this conversation, everything's good. Ghost is out of the business anyway. We're good, right? We're done. He's trying to go back to New York, okay? And Jason's like, no, why don't you stay tonight? We like, stay tonight, nigga. What the fuck you mean stay tonight? Like, what does that mean? He wants him to stay for dinner, okay? So he doesn't really have a choice, okay? So he goes to dinner with him. He getting fucked up, you know, taking shots that everybody's taking. But it's obvious that somebody has spiked the shot. He's loosey-goosey telling his fucking life story. They stumble outside to the parking lot. I'm sorry, he stumbles outside to the parking lot because nobody else is that drunk because they obviously Mickey'd this nigga. And when he bends over, they throw him in a fucking trunk, okay? Drive him to you know, really wooded area with a shallow grave built and tell him to get down on his knees and, you know, say his final prayers to whoever he prays to, okay? And Patar comes out and we like, what the fuck is Patar doing here? And Patar is saying that Tommy did the hit on Milan on his own. Okay, and we all know that Patar was in on the hit. He was standing right there in the fucking room, okay? He was so a part of it. So for him to act like now Tommy did all of this on his own, it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And Tommy had already mentioned earlier in the night that he was surprised that Jason and them were okay with the hit on Milan, and he just acts like he knows. He's like, well, you know, he was eating people. We ain't really want to fuck with him like that no more. You know, in his prime, he was great, but the nigga was weird. And it's always best to get rid of niggas that feel like they that powerful but that fucking weird. We ain't got that. We're not trying to like bring down all of humanity. That's too much. In that conversation, you know, it's obvious that Tommy was not lying. Some blonde chick, Tatiana or somebody, gets out of the car and she whispers in his ear, and he, you know, raises the gun like he's gonna kill Tommy, and he shoots Patar. Patar falls into the grave and they bury his ass, okay? Then he and Tommy, you know, have casual niceties, and then Tommy goes on this way feeling refreshed, okay? Now in the moment when he thought he was gonna die, the first thing he thought about was Holly. So he makes a stop in Cleveland. Holly's from Cleveland, I guess, and apparently she was raped by an uncle every night when she stayed with him for some years, okay? And they started when she was 9 years old, okay? I don't feel like I remember hearing this story, but you know, it's not far from who Holly is. Like, we can see that, okay? Terrible as it may, we can see that. And he goes to this beautiful house, and it's an open house, and this old man is showing the house, you know, but he's like, oh, you're early, but you know, hey, if you want to see the house, oh, it has great wood floors and all of this shit, showing him the house around. And you know, do you have a wife? Do you have kids? And he's like, no. He's like, do you have kids? And he's like, yeah, I have 2 girls. And Tommy's like, so do you fuck them? And then it's when, you know, the left turn comes, because we don't know any of this. We just know he's stopping at some fucking house weirdly, like, what the fuck's going on? This nigga's happy? Fuck. Why would you want to buy a house in the country? You obviously love New York, my nigga. What are you talking about? So after he says that to the man's like, oh, I'm going to call the cops. And he was like, see, I told Holly to call the cops on you. And he's like, oh, you knew Holly? And he's like happy about it now. Like, now it's good because you knew Holly. And he's like, you fucked her when she was a kid, when she stayed in your house. And you know what his reply was? She wanted it. Some girls, they just want it. She was 9. 9! So, in true psychopathic, dear to my heart type shit. Tommy takes a bat off the wall and bashes the old man's head in. And I just feel better about life after that. That's just how I felt. Now, Dre and Julio meet up under the bridge because Julio wants to know why the fuck Dre was meeting with Kanan, right? What the fuck happened there? And he tells him, look, man, it's not nothing like that, okay? He was asking me for help. I told him no. I showed him the door, okay? But look, I got this other opportunity because we can make some more money because I know some other drug dealers that's not happy with their distributors. You know what I'm saying? If you're trying to move more weight, you know what I'm saying? Because Cristobal telling everybody that you gave him the little extra, you know, the little extra deal or whatever. So he's telling everybody, so now everybody looking for it. And I know some homeboys that really need that. You know, we need the money. We need to make more money, da-da-da-da. You know, running that shit to him. So now he's gonna make a deal with him, right? So he's supposed to meet up with the other drug dealers, right? Man, we knew Dre wasn't up to no good. Son get there, and it's the Toros Locos gang, okay? Because Dre had met with the Toros Locos gang, which is Cristobal and the rest of his, you know, Spanish brethren and they hood shit, okay? He meets up with them, and they decide they was gonna kill Julio. So when Julio pops up looking for Dre, it's Toros Locos and that bitch negative Cristobal, right? So we like, fuck Cristobal. Cristobal that type of nigga that's like, I can't get dirty, my nigga. Like, I can't get dirty, okay? So this crazy dude and two other dudes are waiting in the room, and they put knives to Julio, and I'm like, Julio about to fucking hulk on their ass. And I was right. I was right. He hulked. He absolutely hulked. Apparently, they're still in their emotions because he quit their group. I'm sorry. Like, I know it's real shit and it's heavy, but that's only because y'all kill people over it, okay? Y'all make it heavy. In real life, y'all are in a fucking Boy Scouts group that does illegal shit, and you get mad when people don't want to be a part of your group anymore. Like, man, grow the fuck up, man. Nobody owes you their life like that. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. Nobody owes you their life like that. Julio was ready for the ass. So Julio come out, fuck over dude, beat him up. He even had a knife, knocked that shit out of his hand, was fucking him up. The other dude comes up behind him, stabs him, he knocks that nigga out, okay? He knocks one dude out good enough for him to be laid out. Then he runs one dude's head against a post, and it goes into the back of his head, and now he's dead. And then the other one, he was beating the fuck out of him, and he was walking, talking too much shit. And I'm like, why is you talking all this shit? Fuck the other nigga up and get the fuck out of there. What is you doing? Kill these niggas and go. Instead, this nigga want to be all big and macho and shit, holding the fuck, you know what I'm saying? I think he had like a pipe in his hand or some shit. But the nigga on the ground was halfway conscious and had a knife, so he sliced that nigga Achilles' heel. He fell on the ground. He couldn't fight no more. Even though he had subdued one dude, killed another dude, the other dude that was still there, the main dude, yeah, stabbed him up, cut the tattoo off his neck, then stabbed him some more in the chest, and he was dead. I was like, it's so hard to say goodbye to what we had. The good times that made us laugh and made us brave. Kanan finally pulls up on Ghost. Pulls up on, okay? Gets him, shit, you know what I'm saying? Nah, he didn't stab him. But he had, you know, he had the piece on him, had a gun on him. And he was like, little nigga, I got your son. Get in the car, nigga. So they driving. And he like, man, what you want, man? What you doing, man? Like, why this can't be handled between me and you? Why you trying to fuck over my son, man? That's my kid, man. Why my kid gotta be in it? Okay, Ghost is feeling it right now. All right, real pressure. You see the cop, he even felt, he might have called the cops on this nigga. And then you know he don't want to do that, but he might have just called the cops on this nigga just to get his son. I don't give a fuck. I'll go back to jail. Please, can I get my son? Okay? Like, that's the standpoint that he's at right now, which just shows how multi-dimensional niggas be. Because they be out here shiving and stabbing and fucking over people left and right, but kidnap their son and they out this motherfucker crying like a female, okay? Like, it's just, I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm just letting y'all know observations. Okay, so they decide they need the money. Ghost ain't got no money, okay? He just now getting his assets unfroze. He don't have no money to be giving Kanan like that. So they decide they're going to rob Tommy's stash house. They go to the stash house. Nobody was supposed to get hurt. He was supposed to go in the front. Kanan was supposed to go in through the side door. Surprise nigga, okay? The first dude, he knocked out. The second dude, he knocked out. The third dude that's counting the money that has seen Kanan's face, he kills him. Kills him like dead, shoots him. Like, oh, fuck. Okay, Ghost was even like, oh man, like he ain't never seen nobody get killed before, but I guess he had like, you know, a little soft spot for the young nigga. He didn't want to see him dead like that. You know, he didn't want no problems. He was just counting the money. Like, fuck, man. So they get to the house and they sit in the car. And, you know, he like, bruh, you got your money. Can you please just let my son go? One last attempt to try to get him to not do this like this, right? And he decides to give him a gun. He gave him a gun. Now, he gave him a gun when they went in there to rob people, but they ain't had no clip in it. When they got outside the car, he gave him the gun with the clip in it. He said, why you doing this, man? Why you gonna give me the gun? He said, because I don't know what this bitch gonna do when I go in there. She money hungry and she gonna kill Tyreek as soon as she get that money, okay? And I don't know what she gonna do with me. I don't know who she got in there with her, nothing. So take the gun and let's do this shit together. Because Ghost was gonna shoot him. But he was like, come on, man. Like, you can kill me or we can go in there and handle this together because we don't know how many people in there. And it was really only Jukebox and Tyreek. And she had him sitting in a chair all taped up and shit. Him and Ghost walked through the door and Ghost got his wrist tied up and shit like that. But then all of a sudden he pop out with the gun. And this is when the bullshit starts, okay? Because Jukebox wants people to be honest. I'm like, in true bitch fashion, okay? We got a little backstory on Jukebox this episode. Apparently, they call her Jukebox because she could sing her ass off, okay? And she could basically imitate anybody on the radio, all right? So she could sing better than Tasha on her best day. And I'm like, is that 3LW shade, bitch? Okay? But whatever, okay? So we find out that apparently, I don't know why she couldn't sing no more. I'm mad we didn't find out about that, why she didn't actually do something with that. But she got a heart of gold. I mean, a heart of stone. Not a heart of gold, a heart of stone. Jukebox want Kanan to tell the truth to little nigga, okay? Little niglet, tell him the truth. Kanan, tell him who you are. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, my name not Slim. My name is Kanan. I know I said he was dead, but that's me. I'm a no good nigga. Okay, I ain't never been good for nobody. Alright? And I was only hanging with you to get back at your daddy, running game on you and shit so I can hit him up for some money and for some revenge. Okay, on some shit like that, right? And Jukebox was like, oh, okay, we being honest. That's good. That's good. That was a good start. So tell him about Sean, nigga. Tell him about Sean. Okay, and we all know how close Tyreek was to Sean. So he like, yeah, I killed my own son. I'm a low down ass nigga, okay? Sean was my son, and I killed him. Yeah, I did that shit, okay? And I don't give a fuck about nobody. I wasn't raised to give a fuck about nobody. I'm like, people do be raising their kids like that. This is what I be talking about. Y'all act like it don't start at home. Yes, it does. At this point, with all of the pressure to talk about Sean, I have a feeling that even though Kanan did that shit and act like it don't bother him, I feel like he feels some type of way about it. If not, then why did he feel the need to shoot Jukebox? Because he shoot Jukebox and killed her like he ain't never had no love for the bitch. And then he walks over to her body and he was like, bitch, you just kept running your fucking mouth. And I'm like, see, she must have said something that got to him. I don't know, you know, what I can say, but I just feel that way. I feel like there was some emotion that I've been waiting for from 50 Cent to happen in this scene. Because even though you're supposed to be this bad killer motherfucker, nobody has like friends and shit over years and all of that. Okay, if they just always a terrible person. So I needed to see some softness there. I needed to see something else besides what we always get from 50, which is 50. You know what I'm saying? Asshole bitch assness, you know, tactics. But we did get to see some emotional, you know, shit in this scene. Apparently, he had grown fond of Tyreek, and he kind of picked Tyreek over Jukebox by shooting her and, you know, letting him go. And he even pulled the gun up to Tyreek and Ghost when they was hugging, but he just was like, man, fuck it. He grabbed the money and he got out. And I'm like, and I thought about it, and I was like, he did that shit because he never got a chance to know his son. He looked at Sean, all he saw was some little soft nigga. You know what I'm saying? And Tyreek was hard. And he also got to know Tyreek because I don't think Sean was really that soft. You know what I'm saying? He did what he had to do. I just think he wasn't an assertive person like Kanan would have wanted him to be the way Tyreek is. But at the same time, if it was up to Tyreek's intelligence, nigga, he would have been killed fucking around with y'all two. You know what I'm saying? So don't give the nigga too much credit for being hard because he still got fucking kidnapped. And that's another thing. You could be as hard as you want to, but if you a stupid motherfucker, what difference does it make? Like, I'ma just say that right now. Cause as much, you ain't had no fear, you ain't cried, none of that shit. But at the same time, your little ass still would have been dead. Fucking around with that bitch, letting her drug you over and over again and knock your ass over the head, taking your cell phone, telling you couldn't leave, and you ain't paying attention to none of this shit. This is About 55, 75% your fault, Tyreek. Okay, like y'all like that jump? That's how I'm feeling about this shit. Okay, but Ghost gets to take his crazy ass, fucked up son home, and we're gonna see the remnants of what this is gonna leave on him. I hope he's smarter about how he feels about his dad, because at the end of the day, that nigga showed up. Okay, that nigga showed up. Alrighty. Okay. So yeah, you guys, that was everything that happened on Power. I hope you enjoyed the review. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.
On my mama, on my hood, I look fly, I look good, touch my swag,